Morning, Daryl, artist in recovery, and morning bow to the fifth column. Gentlemen, it is 6:38 in the morning Pacific Standard Time, July 29th, 2023. This is the diary of the reader named John Weaver, which would be me. Okay, Art, we gotta talk. Your video regarding the story of the whipped Peter and Florida's revisionist history of slavery. Uh, okay. I should have been writing these things down, but yeah, the revisionist history of Florida. You know, a lot of political pundits and the major news channels are having a field day over this damn thing. And I'll tell you one thing about the black history. Growing up as a kid on here in the West Coast, going through the Los Angeles Unified School District, they didn't have much classes regarding black history, or if any. There was no black culture being studied back in the 80s. At least not when I went. So I hardly ever knew anything concerning about what happened to the slaves at all. When I saw the movie Glory, Matthew Broderick in it, and a slew. Let me get that. I'm just typing it out in the computer. Yeah, that one here. Give me a second here. Okay, I think I talked about this in one of my Wind files already. Matthew Broderick played Colonel Shaw, Massachusetts, uh, brigade commander. You had Denzel Washington, runaway slave, joined up with Shaw's army, among with hundreds. Morgan Freeman, Cary Elwes, Andre Braunauer. These guys I'd watched like crazy because there was also Jiminy Kennedy as well. I'd watched how they were acting regarding to slavery, and to see Denzel Washington back in that film, 1989, Glory. Daryl, you got to check it out. Come on, it's online, it's streaming, it's out there. Even even YouTube's got it somewhere. I'm going to have to find a link and hook it up in this thing. That's what I'm going to have to do. Even after when I edit the thing. And I was talking about this a while ago on some of my other videos. Because this was black history to me. I'm looking at it, I'm like, I'm seeing how the special effects and the makeup guys are doing Denzel's back. And I saw how good they were on it. And in reality, yeah, you see the shocked look on my face at this point over here. I'm like, oh my God. I saw and I read the article. And one more thing concerning about the Daily Beast. When you're going to be doing news articles like this, Daryl, make sure that you can actually get screen printed and do the PDFs real damn fast because they're asking for subscriptions. Some of them actually have limitations on how many times you can go back to the same article or anything else in there without screaming for you to subscribe to look at their information. That's the Daily Beast. It happened to me. Just trying to look up your information, trying to get a PDF file, and I couldn't get it going. But seeing the action and seeing the reaction of the actors in the movie Glory, I hate to say it, but we human beings can really be vicious and atrocious to each other. And this is not the only case of slavery. Yes, this was horrible, and this was horrible in United States history, but we have to go back further than that. I have history professors and Western civilization professors in my local community college that can use the Bible as as a reference of how people were treating each other and how it referred to it. But not to mention our artists' interpretations in different books and also different films on how slavery was used. You ever see the Cecil B. DeMille film, The Ten Commandments? How the Egyptians were treating, or actually mistreating, on a constant basis of the Egyptians. Of course, they had light makeup during that time to simulate the scarring, but it was still there. We have been enslaving each other all of our humanity's existence. In response to the chemical addiction being like Florida, uh, no connection, pal. Because, yes, you've been through over 2.5 decades of it, and it's taken a hell of a lot of toll, but it's also given you a lot of education. And sometimes, I hate to say it, survival skills. Even an alcoholic can do the same damn thing. He can be lying, cheating, thieving, scheming like crazy, trying to get a drink, one way or another, to get that drink. I heard the stories in the halls. I've also seen how my brother got through the damn thing. I was trying to be, I was trying to be more and more in control of myself. I know how far the damn disease can take you. I'd seen skeletons. I'd seen my own brother as a skeleton. He got used up by it. Even for within a short several years, no, 3 or 4 years, he damn near killed himself on it. He wasn't shooting, he was drinking, and he was killing himself. He came home as a walking skeleton. Like 4 months earlier than that, my mother and I threw him out because he was sneaking too much money out of my mother's purse, lying about it on a constant basis and using me for it. Mama held me on a hook, but David, she kicked out her firstborn and it tore her ass apart. The stories and the things I had to go through just to protect his ass. In the end, trying to hurt both of us at the same time. And during those days, yeah, I did blame him. I didn't blame the drugs because I didn't I didn't understand how marijuana was affecting a person, and I really didn't understand how. Wait a second. I was understanding about alcoholism during that time because I also had other family members dying from the same damn shit. My mother had a sister, and she loved her so, but she was also an alcoholic, and the husband loved her that way. When my aunt would get out of the rehab, there was a bottle ready for her. I hardly ever knew my aunt sober. I was a young, naive kid back then. How the hell did I know anything about alcoholism? None of us did. But the damn disease was running through our family like crazy, trying to kill us off left and right. It wasn't easy seeing the girls being raised that way. They had to be self-dependent. They had to be self-independent. When we lost Aunt Renee, Uncle George became more and more despondent. He was an enabler. He was also an alcoholic, but he was more of an enabler. It's a hell of a thing to see my uncle's funeral. I didn't even feel comfortable about it, let alone my aunts. And I was a guy going through recovery. No, I wasn't going through recovery during that time. I was also going through my own damn shit. But I stayed the hell away from this because my brother was staying away from it. He was going through recovery during those days. He started his recovery back in '85. I know how this damn disease is like slavery. We are so chemically addicted to the drug, it's not even funny. We have our own genetics and the environments that we live in, and any other kind of conditions that would make this damn disease live. Nothing nowhere near to what you're trying to compare about DeSantis in Florida and what they would consider slavery. It wasn't learning about job skills, it was learning about how to survive on the streets left and right to get yourself another drink. Lie, steal, cheat, con, staying out of the law's reach. I also know how it can destroy a life. More than one way. Sorry, some of these things usually hit me hard. I had talked to other people in the program who have gone through drug treatment, but also they've gone through school to learn how to be counselors. It's not just life experiences, it's also getting the education necessary to back it up. There is such a thing called knowledge from books, and some of those books are read by are created by other people who are in the business or also in the medical business. And the counselors will have to know something about it besides understanding the person one on one because of our own life experiences. You still need the backup training for it just to satisfy the state's requirements. That's how it works out here, anyway. I don't know about anywhere else. Regarding the whipped Peter, I saw it. I saw it. That's what it reminded me so much of the movie Glory. And when I saw the character of Denzel Washington on it, and where he was crying his ass off, the tears were coming down his face. I don't know where he, I don't know which memory he drummed up, but man, did that hit hard. I used to watch it a lot back in the 90s when it was on cable. I liked the music on it. I didn't even realize the historical reference on the thing until later on when I'm doing historical studies in college. I'm hearing more and more. Before I graduate, I hope to put in African studies. Maybe 16 weeks of it, but it'd be a lot better for me to really understand it. And understand why a human being has to continue to enslave everybody one way or another. Anyway. Yeah, you really touched a nerve on this one, Daryl. Not because of the slavery situation. Your recovery story is amazing and amazing enough that you've lasted that long, and you're actually able to try to get your soul back on that one. And regarding Florida's revisionist history, Florida's going to have to go to war on that one. I swear they're going to have to go to war on that one. If they actually had a recall mechanism in their state's constitution to recall their governor, as we have it out here in California, it would have saved the Floridians enough grief. But now they got to wait until their term of the governor expires. Hell of a world we're living in.